Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the Chris Tyson situation. Apparently, there's been updates. More stuff's been coming out about how Mr. Beast knew, how Mr. Beast has been faking all sorts of shit, how Mr. Beast has been involved in all sorts of situations that endanger kids or put them in very, very bad situations that they really shouldn't be in. So let's watch Nuxxy and Mudahar talk about it. Mudahar, some ordinary gamer, absolute Giga Chad of security, cybersecurity, and Nuxanor. He's also there.
Yo, back from vacation. Oh, it's been a relaxing journey, sort of, kind of, not so much, really, to be honest. But, you've never really made it as a real YouTuber. If there aren't false allegations made against you. That doesn't
Obviously.
involve Mr. Beast, if it doesn't involve Keemstar, and if it doesn't involve getting cancelled by association with people that some other people do not like. It's a pretty wild ride. I'm friends with a lot of gun tubers, so I don't know what I should have expected. But, being that this is probably
Honestly, if you're friends with gun tubers and Twitter tries to cancel you, that just means that your gun tuber friends are successful, and so you should be happy for them.
in the top 2 dramas I've ever been in. It goes up there to the S tier. Hell yeah. Figured it's worth making a video covering it, clearing my name, and because there's just a lot of lies about me that I would like to squash if possible. Also, Muda recorded a short clip that I'm going to be including basically towards the end of the video to help corroborate some stuff I'm saying, but let's jump right into it, baby. Twitter tries to cancel Nux, episode 4 bajillion. Anyway, it all started a few days ago with this. This video, Chris Tyson just became a nightmare for Mr. Beast. So it turns out Chris Tyson, in the Mr. Beast crew, not exactly the holiest of peoples. I'm gonna give you like the ADHD 2-second recap because I'm sure all of you already know what's going on, but basically Chris Tyson was exposed for basically being a predator. And it ended up spiraling into something way worse. Apparently, Mr. Beast probably knew about it. It's a very big, yucky, ugly situation, and it is only the stepping stool of to where we are going today. Also, thank you so much for the sponsor of this video, Mr. Beast Burger, Special Chris Burger. The Chris's Kitty Dog is sponsoring. Oh, they discontinued the Chris's Kitty Dog.
Oh, that's fucked
That's
up.
an unfortunate name.
That's fucking hilarious.
Not sponsored. So, here is one alleged victim of Chris Tyson.
It's called Chris Kitty. There's no way that's what it's called, is there? Sure, food products. Feastables, that's what it's called. Go away. Wait, no, this is just a candy bar. Wait.
Also, thank you so much for the sponsor of this video, Mr. Beast Burgers.
Let me see. Mr. Beast Burgers. Okay, let's look at this. You got the chicken sandwich combo, the Beast style burger combo. Okay. Where can I see all of them? Is not here. They took it out.
Special Chris Burger, the Chris's Kitty Dog is sponsoring. Oh, they discontinued the Chris's Kitty Dog. That's an unfortunate name. Yeah, no, video not sponsored. So, here is one alleged victim of Chris Tyson, okay? I don't want to get into all this shit because that's really not so much the point. Here is another alleged victim of Chris Tyson back when they were like 15 and Chris was, 19 or something?
A lot of kids been coming out.
Here we got another
talking about
alleged victim of Chris Tyson. This is when Lava, the victim, is 13 and Chris Tyson was an adult. Basically, not good. Lots of peoples came out, lots of arguments, and Chris Tyson is a monster. Thank God they are off the platform. Or at least not actually banned by YouTube because of political favoritism, probably. But they are definitely not coming back. Ain't no way. Mr. Beast fired them. It's Jover. But what initially tipped people off and to start looking into this entire situation was the connection between Chris Tyson and Shadman. Now, I'm gonna have to give you some deep dive into the Shadman lore. And what better way to do that than to let the man, the myth, Mr. Moist talk about it himself, all right? This is the rundown on why Mr. Shadman is a monster.
But with Shadman, he wasn't drawing lolly. He was drawing
Right.
real
Yeah.
children sexually.
That is something that I've seen a lot of people kind of miss the point of. I've seen a lot of people go, "Oh, it's just lolly. Who gives a fuck about lolly? It's just cartoons, right?" Like, no, it's cartoons of real people, and it's weird to me that so many people miss the point of that, and it actually makes me think that they don't miss the point. They're just defending him because they approve.
So, one of the most infamous cases was when he drew Keemstar's 8-year-old daughter in a pornographic setting. That actual fucking lunatic drew porn of an 8-year-old girl. That's not hearsay or anything, that is something that actually happened. And you know what's even crazier? I talked about this on stream. A lot of people supported him publicly.
That
Like,
is
a lot of
true.
people defended that. Back when Shadman dropped that revolting dog shit, there was a lot of people that were pumping their fists saying, "Go Shadman! It's Keemstar, who cares? Doesn't matter, he deserves it anyway." Shadman, do you take requests? Can you do this person's underage daughter next? He received
Crazy.
applause for drawing child porn. Let that shit marinate for a moment.
Yeah, that's completely insane. This is not my defense in any way here for anything at all. However, it is a little bit insane as to how much support Shadman got back in the day. So much support that I didn't even know he was a controversial figure until after my first interaction with the guy. But
I knew he was a controversial figure the first fucking moment I took a look at his art. Like, there is so much child stuff there, like so much. Real people child is corn is fucked up. If it was fiction in Rule 34, I guess it's okay because it's not based on real people, I guess. Yeah, it's not illegal. I think it's still fucking weird, but yeah, it's not illegal. The issue with Shad and the reason why it's illegal is because he was doing it with real people.
I will get down that path later. I have receipts for everything. Never fear. All is good. All right. So that once it turns out what Shadman was doing, it turned out that Chris was fawning over drawn CP of Caillou. What the fuck? Begging Shadman to draw a 10-year-old anime girl. What the fuck? Being disappointed Shad didn't draw Beast Boy. And even more teasing with Shad. Basically, it seems like they had some kind of massive relationship. Chris was a very big fan of Shadman's hentai, if you could even call it that, because it's based on real people and it's pretty fucked up. Anyway, it gets wilder because not only did Chris like Shadman stuff, but Chris purchased Shadman art and has it on the wall in the living room. It's pretty messed up. Even look at Mr.
Honestly, it's one of those things like it's not even about the fact that it's child stuff. It's just like, brother, why do you have porn in your living room? Like, that's just weird, right? Like, I'm not kink shaming. I'm just saying, like, you weird. You weird for that. By the way, this guy kind of looks like a slightly more drugged out ninja.
Mr. Beast over here is like, what the fuck, looking at that shit. All right, anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is this is someone that liked his art, that supported him, that was friendly with him, that purchased his stuff and financially supported him. And then it turned out that, yes, the shock of all shocks, Chris was actually an alleged predator. So, after this all came out, in light of the Chris Tyson stuff, we thought it'd be interesting to track some of our favorite creators' interactions with Shadman over the years. Welcome to the Mega Thread. And then the Salem Witch Hunt Epstein list of YouTubers begins. Anyone that ever had an association with Shadman has been brought into the light. Now again, as I mentioned earlier, for some reason, Shadman was like a light.
Not just this incident. Apparently, like, all sorts of other stuff has been coming out about how he faked all the contests, all the giveaways, all that stuff. It was all going to his close friends. Like, he'd bring in strangers as well to pad things out. But like, most of it was friends, family, and other big creators. And it never went to random people. It always went to people in the Mr. Beast family. So it's like, oh, okay, that's fraud though.
Liked dude in the community. It was like, oh, edgy shock humor, and it wasn't actually. I don't know why people somehow thought this wasn't messed up, and I was never, ever, ever in any sort of relationship with him. But I'm on the thread, and I'll show you why. It's gonna be awesome. All right, so here we got Sky Williams
Yep.
talking to Shadman.
Yep.
We got Dolan Dark having lots of conversations with Shadman. Elvis the Alien made an entire series based on Shadman's art. Ricky Berwick did lots of stuff with Shadman. Jessica Negri cosplayed Shadman people. I mean, just
look.
Ricky Berwick did lots of stuff.
Look, here's the thing. Jessica, like you can't blame e-girls for cosplaying the characters of a well-known adult artist, right? All Jessica Negri did, and all Belle Delphine did, and all these other e-girls did, like they looked at something that was popular and they cosplayed it. All right? It's not that big of a fucking deal. It has nothing to do with supporting him. It's just, sure, it looks bad, but if you think about it for 2 seconds, all they're doing is selling their product, which just so happens to be themselves.
With Shadman, Jessica Negri cosplayed Shadman people. I'm just gonna keep going forever. Basically, everyone communicated with the guy because apparently Shadman wasn't controversial or something back then.
Yeah, he was everywhere.
Think about.
He was everywhere. He was super popular. Even if he was controversial, he was popular. And so, big creators who don't really know or give a shit about the drama that's happening, sure, they communicated with him. It's like, it's normal stuff.
About such a thing, but yeah, Senor Pello, I love that guy. Well,
I don't know who that
that's
is.
rough now. Shoe on Head apparently was friendly with Shadman. God, it's crazy to even look at this list. But it's wild. It's insane. Like, there's nothing to say, bro. This is a lot of messages back and forth. Okay, so Belle Delphine cosplayed as Shadman, and Shadman also drew actual hentai comic shits about Belle Delphine at that time.
It's just...
I'm just kind of looking for me.
It's just two popular people interacting with each other in order to grow their own channels. It's like, yeah. He was controversial. He was always controversial. People always called him, you know, a pedo artist, but it's like, you know, he was popular, and the mainstream or the main part of the community hadn't turned against him at the time yet, so you know, it was perfectly fine.
There we go. The man. All right, so the Aki Dearest bought art from Shadman, whatever. It just doesn't stop. It literally doesn't stop, bro. You even got
everybody
the
had
fucking,
interactions
the Epstein
with
photo,
him.
the pyrocynical of Shadman. Oh
Damn.
my fucking god, it's crazy. And it seems Nuxxy had private conversations with Shadman throughout 2021. Curious. 1.3 million views, 100,000 views, 100,000 views, 100,000 views, 100,000 views, 100,000 views.
Well, yeah, because...
Well, why does mine... Oh, holy shit, they were going after Aki for this. God damn. 200,000, 100,000.
Wait, Kiwi's done?
Oh,
Kiwi?
shit.
Let me see.
They were going after Aki
Oh,
for
it's
this.
just her. Yeah. Again, it's the whole e-girls,
200,000,
you know, interacting with a known
100,000. The point that I'm trying
adult
to make
artist.
here is, for some reason, I became the goddamn enemy numero uno.
I mean, no, the person immediately after you got like twice your views. Don't flatter yourself, Nuxxy. Don't flatter yourself, Nuxxy. You're small fry. You're small stuff.
Trying to take me down for being some kind of pedophile because I had conversations with Shadman along the years. So let's see this damning clip that they have for me. Shadman takes lolly shit to another level. So Shadman is a Nazi-ish, pedophile-ish fellow. Shadman didn't just draw lolly porn.
The Nazi stuff is purely just the outfit. And okay, look, as bad as they were, the drip was fucking on fire, dude. Like, you gotta admit, they looked good.
Shadman drew lolly porn of real life people. Like, Keemstar's 10-year-old daughter got drawn by this guy in sexual art.
Yeah, that shit was fucked up.
And that is fucked up. That is insanely...
Like, when it happened, Nux is right when he says that, like, a bunch of people were okay with it because, you know, Keemstar was very hated at the time. Still kind of is, but, like, at the time it was much more vitriolic. Now it's just more, ugh, this annoying asshole again. And so a lot of people were like, yeah, get that guy. And to me, it was just like, I saw that, and if the next piece of news that came out on the situation was that Keemstar had tracked down Shadman and beaten him to a pulp, I would not have been surprised, and also would not have been against it either.
He fucked up. Holy shit. Now, Keemstar is my best friend, which is why I'm extra mortified about all this. Oh God, I don't want to know how Chris was associated with this guy. All right, now they cut off here, which is interesting because if you continue the actual video where I talk about the Shadman shit,
Yeah,
right?
he mentions that he's made
clip
fun of
me
him in
talking about
DMs and
Shadman.
stuff.
This is what I say next. You know what? I'll put this into the world. Here's reasons why I don't like Shadman. I
Rick
feel like
and
I need
Morty
to
collection,
quantify
what?
Why I think Shadman is fucked up. Look at his DM he sent me. Okay. I don't share DMs, but so I made this video where I catfished predators on Discord. It was awful. But anyway, he's like, I don't like that. Like, he didn't like that I was catfishing predators on Discord. I thought this was one of the wildest self-reports I've ever seen.
That is, in fact, very weird.
The point that I'm trying to make is, yes, I did get DM'd by Shadman every once in a while, back in the day, rarely. I would just wake up out of the blue and boom, and have a Shadman DM, and I would literally make fun of him for those DMs later. Here's a clip from my video in 2021.
Because it's
this
fucking
one's
weird.
really exposing me, guys. So, I was talking to Shadman. That's a weird, yeah. And,
that's a way to start a sentence.
That's our qualification. Talking means he DM'd me. Just mentioning. A way to start a sentence. And he has some interesting takes on Gardevoir.
He can keep them. I don't think I need to hear them.
Yeah, they're weird. Dude, at the time that I got the DM from Shadman, I did not know about the Keemstar's daughter thing. But again, that's not even my argument. Not even my argument, because this isn't even some sort of relationship. It's not like I had a relationship and because of the Keemstar's daughter thing, I later decided not. No! Literally,
he was just
zero
like
relationship.
messaging
You get a DM from some guy on Twitter, and I made fun of him for it.
Shadman messaged like almost everyone who was of some significant size. Like everyone. If you were on the internet and you were even like a little bit controversial, you probably got a DM from Shadman.
For it, as you're about to see. It was the weirdest conversation I've ever had in my life. Like, through DMs. I didn't speak to him. Oh! I even said it in the clip that it was through DMs. I didn't even speak to him. All right. Cool. But it was the weirdest conversation I've ever had in my life.
I don't think you could have a normal conversation with a guy like Shadman.
Of course not.
Lord.
Shit's weird.
Shadman. Oh my God. I'm scrolling through the DMs. There are a few things that he said that were interesting. And he also says each word in like a different message.
Oh, he's one of those
multiple text guys. Oh my God, corny. Sure, it's good, but games are just corny to me. So I'm not a gamer. I'm like Sans, because I spent 11 hours beating him on stream when I was younger. Point is, hereditary means passed down from generations. Genetical memory, instinct. You dig? Then why accident if you exist? You're not perfect, but you exist. Why call it an accident? Hentai is ugly to me.
Hentai is what?
But you exist. Why call it an accident? Hentai is ugly to me.
Hentai is ugly to me.
This is like a fucking like.
Brother,
That's what he
your
said.
job is
You
drawing
don't
hentai.
understand.
What do you mean?
He sends me a DM. I make fun of the DM. People try to frame this as some kind of relationship, and therefore they're canceling me by association with this guy, which is
Super
wild,
weird.
wild and insane. To the point that when I made this tweet about Chris Tyson over here, saying they not like us, implying that Chris Tyson's a predator, you'll notice it has 2.8 million views of thousands of people calling me a predator. I know. It's crazy. Like, you can't even believe this shit. So anyway, I ended up quantifying this. I would have just done this in a video like I normally would. I wouldn't have actually talked about it on Twitter because Twitter is a cesspool that people will just take shit out of context and make fun of you for anything. Jesus could come back to life and people would cancel him for taking too long, all right? So I was on vacation, minding my own business, and I mentioned that Shadman DM'd me weird shit out of the blue. And I made fun of him for it many times in videos and on the podcast, as seen in the very clip that they share. I've never commissioned, promoted, been friends with him. I've never hidden that fact. Framing this as a relationship is disingenuous. And overall, the reception's okay. Because anyone with a normal eyes in their head would look at this and be like, oh yeah, definitely. What the frick?
Always taken out of context.
Nuxx.
Yeah, because
Nuxx
it helps.
makes fun
you
of
know.
those DMs, and people are trying to cancel him for it. Anyway, the Reddit detectives go kind of wild, kind of crazy on this shit. Keemstar especially went on this entire tirade, trying his very goddamn best to cancel and bully every single person that ever associated with Shadman off the internet. So here's the fun stuff. So Akeem said, YouTube drama is pushing all kinds of propaganda to shield themselves from criticism for censoring Chris Tyson's story. Blah, 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 blah. Gator says, then why did you falsely defame people that went after Shadman, like Nuxxy, and insinuated they supported the disgusting thing he did to your family? You can't have it both ways. Guilty by association is a double-edged sword. You owe a lot of them an apology. So,
True.
I just want to preface by saying, what happened to Keemstar's daughter, what Shadman did, is mind-boggling. It's awful. It's a nightmare. So I don't want anyone to send any hate to Keemstar over a video like this, clearing my name. I would just be using logical discussions to try to talk about why I am innocent and have never had any form of friendship with this piece of shit, Shadman. But don't send hate to Keemstar over this. Keemstar's daughter got drawn in a sexual way by this monster. If I was Keemstar, I don't know how I would react, okay?
Oh no,
guys,
if I was, I know exactly how I would react. Like somebody would draw that shit of my kid, and like they not going to jail. I am. Like it's not even a question. Most parents would simply physically demolish Shadman. It wouldn't even be hard. The guy's a fucking stick.
Seriously,
He is literally a stick
Keemstar. I don't
figure.
even mind that Keemstar tried to cancel me over this shit. So Keemstar says, keep that energy, and he posts these two. He actually retweeted his own tweet to go onto his main feed, but after I responded and completely destroyed him in response, he unretweeted it so people wouldn't see, and just remember me as the guy that was associated with Shadman, but not actually let anyone see my response because ethics. So anyway, Nuxxy states that Shadman interacted with him out of the blue and nothing more, but a screenshot was found in a deleted conversation where Nux asked Shadman to collab. Also, Nux used a censored picture of Shadman's porn comic of Arya Stark, played by a child actor of Game of Thrones, for a thumbnail. This is all wrong. Okay, so we'll just do this one first. So I did use Shadman art in a thumbnail once. I made a video talked about fucking awful
Almost
Game
everyone
of
did.
Thrones, cursed Game of Thrones memes. One of the cursed Game of Thrones memes that popped up when I looked up fucking cursed Game of Thrones fucked up shit.
Oh, so he was just looking up cursed Game of Thrones stuff, and Shadman happened to pop up. That sounds about right, honestly. Like, Shadman was wildly popular at the time of Game of Thrones, so yeah, absolutely.
On Google Images was a Shadman art, and I didn't even know it was a Shadman art when I used it. I got comments saying I recognized the Shadman art, etc., etc., and I changed the art, not last week to avoid drama, not yesterday so I could have a Zynga response video and make an apology. No apologies! I changed the art 2 to 3 years ago! I don't know how you could look up that this is a fact, but you'll notice any screenshots of that video that you find with the actual Shadman art is like 15 minutes after the video is posted. You're not gonna find any from later than that because I changed it right when I figured out it was Shadman. This is the craziest fucking shit in the universe. But the idea that this is something cancel worthy is mind-boggling. I literally changed the art right when I found out 2 to 3 years ago. Anyway, also, to make things worse, they say that I used a picture from Shadman's porn comic of Arya Stark, played by a child actress for Game of Thrones. Lies! It wasn't even Arya Stark. It was the freaking you-know-nothing Jon Snow
Edith?
girl. It was her. It was not Arya Stark.
Okay,
These people literally will go
yeah,
crazy out of every possible way. This is not an...
Look, I've said this before, and I'll say it again a million times. If you have to lie to make your point, you're not doing it for the greater good. You're just lying. You demean the original point you were trying to make. You sully the conversation. You ensure that nobody takes you seriously again from that point forward. You're just a liar now. If you lie, you lose.
Underage actress. This actress is a adult. Get the frick out of here with your goddamn lies, stupid Reddit being peddled by Keemstar to everyone. And the thumbnail's removed. So why is everyone's obviously gonna believe this? Oh yes, of course, Nux used a censored picture of Shadman's porn comic of Arya Stark. Yeah, obviously. Not that I know, because the thumbnail was fucking removed 3 years ago, but yeah, I believe it. Anyway, it gets wilder, so I do respond to Keem. I say, I'm so sorry I had to go through all this, and I legitimately am. I'm so sorry that Keem had to suffer at the hands of this monster for so long. You have every right to be furious with the people that supported Shadman. I was never one of those people. Literally, you got the freaking mega thread of people with genuine interactions that supported him, that took pictures with him, that collabed with him, that tried to get his website back up. I was never one of those. The thumbnail was on a video about fucked up Game of Thrones memes and was changed 2-3 years ago when I realized who drew it. The second big exposed one for me, apparently, this is gonna be fun. I like this one a lot.
It's funny how this was supposed to be a Mr. Beast and Chris Tyson situation, and we've just been talking about Shadman for the past 10 minutes. Like, granted, Shadman is like the more controversial side of things, but it's still funny.
Someone tags me, probably this guy. I don't remember what this was about.
Yeah.
Shadman says a bit too middle school. I say want to collab. He
Deleted
says,
conversation where Nuxxy asked Shadman to collab. Also, Nuxxy used a censored picture. Okay, yeah.
"Now no, but your heart's in the right place." I say, understandable, have a nice day. I'm here when you come around. Yeah, people are making this as some sort of I am supporting him and I'm trying my best to become.
He probably just wanted him on the podcast so he could make fun of him, which honestly, kind of based. Doesn't Nuts like constantly, lure people into the podcast so he can make fun of them? Like, granted, it's mostly, if not exclusively, shitters who deserve to get made fun of, but like, still, yeah, he lures the people into his space so he can make fun of them. So it's like that's just the thing that Nux does. Why is everybody finding it strange that he's now inviting Shadman, somebody he has mocked before, and like trying to lure him into the podcast so he can make fun of him? It's like, come on.
Ends with Shadman, this monster, which is fucking stupid. If
I troll confront people when I collab with them the same way you do on lolcow, and if you watched my videos, you'd know that. I don't mind if you hate me, but at least hate me for the right reasons. I hope this Shad trauma goes away somehow. No one deserves what he put you through. Yeah, 100%. Everyone thinks Shad's scum. Getting your revenge on him,
you know my content at all.
on everyone else
I
isn't
troll
the way,
confront
yeah.
people when I collab the same way you do, talking to Keemstar, on lolcow, and if you watch my videos, you know that. I don't mind if you hate me, but at least hate me for the right reasons. I hope the Shad trauma goes away somehow. No one deserves what he put you through. And I'm not saying this to dog on Keemstar right now.
Of course
okay?
not.
This is not to dog on Keemstar at all.
But he does deserve to get dogged on, like, at least once a day.
First, I am going to prove the point of my troll confront people shtick. Okay,
All right.
so let me pull up my original tweet where I covered this, because
Go on.
I did in fact
Prove
mention
it.
this over here. So
People saying I'm a liar because of these tweets. Aside from not knowing about the extent of his shit, then I'd collab with all sorts of scum. Most of my collabs are trolling, and I was going to grill him. I'd interview EDP. I've never commissioned, promoted, been friends
people
with him.
saying I'm a liar because of these tweets. Aside from not knowing the extent of his shit then, meaning I didn't know about the Keemstar daughter shit, I'd collab with all kinds of scum. Most of my collabs are trolling, and I was gonna grill him. I'd interview
Obviously.
EDP. I've never commissioned, promoted, been friends with him. And then I say I'll probably talk about this more when I come back from vacation. So, Larix, commentary YouTuber fellow, says, good faith question, hoping you could clarify. This is huge, because most questions, not at all good faith. So you
Obviously
didn't know the
not.
extent
It's
of his
not.
shit then, but
There's no fun in asking a good faith question. Like, if it's a good faith question, you can just answer it. What's the fun in that, right? It's way better if you just hit somebody with like the bad faith question, and then they have to give a response that you can then twist and turn into something that it was never meant to be, so that you win the argument, even though there was no real argument.
you were going to grill him at the same time. If you did get that collab, what would you grill Shad on? From what I remember, he was known as the guy who drew minors sexually. You didn't know that? The rare good faith question. I knew about the lolly stuff and some of his art, like the bestiality with fictional children,
Yeah, that
etc.
shit's weird.
Definitely enough to grill the guy. Holy shit, there is so much more. Like, there is so much more than just that.
I mean, if he actually, got this interview, quote unquote, he absolutely would have found out everything. He would have, looked this stuff up and, had a whole list of things to grill him on. Like, hey, don't you think it's fucking weird that you're drawing real life kids? Don't you think it's fucking weird that, you're known for the lolly stuff? Don't you think it's fucking weird to have animals, on kids in your drawings? Like, don't you think you're fucking weird, my guy? Like, don't you? I feel like you should. You know you're weird, right, Chad? Like, come on. You know you're weird, right? Right, Chad? Right, Chad, man? You know you're weird, right? You're weird. You're weird.
That is the worst, and that would have been the hard cutoff for me to not even respond to the guy, probably. But I legitimately was gonna grill the guy. If you've seen my collabs, I didn't know about Keemstar's daughter, although that's the less important part of my tweet. Collabs are not promotions or condonement in any way on my channel. Appreciate the reply. If you have a history of doing many collabs for the sole purpose of trolling them, I think this is fair.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, when saying I was asking for a collab as a troll, it looks kind of bad. If that's what you've done before, it's believable. Well, This over here is a collab where I collabed with Kagi
this?
Films, a voice actor, and it was purely for the... I told him that we were going to get into a call, and I was going to show him some terrible anime dubs, and him, as a voice actor, he would review the anime dubs. I trolled him because the terrible dubs that I showed him were his own! It was his voice acting work in anime, and I made him sit through his worst performances of all time and shit. And then bro was he ashamed. Here's a video where I collabed with Daily Dose of Internet. I
That's
told him
just
I'd be showing him
malicious
funny
as
anime
fuck,
scenes, but it
dude.
turns out, you know how he does, hey guys, this is your Daily Dose of Internet. Today I'm gonna be looking at a cat in a tree. I narrated freaking garbage anime moments with the Daily Dose of Internet voice, and I showed him a Daily Dose in anime video, literally making fun of his cadence and the way he frames shit. Here is a video where I show terrible anime adaptations to Netflix's One Piece producer. This guy over here, he is the One Piece live-action Netflix showrunner producer.
Let me guess. He showed him his previous work, which was terrible. If that's what you did, Nuxxy, goated.
And he was making a live-action show. This is before One Piece came out. I collabed with this guy, and I told him, of course, I'd be showing him, you know, cringe anime clips and to make him laugh and stuff. But it turns out I was showing him terrible anime adaptations. Every bad anime adaptation I could find. I showed him the Cowboy Bebop cringe, and I showed him this from Dragon Ball Evolution. All right, I showed him all these terrible anime adaptations purely for the sole purpose of telling him that I don't think his adaptation of One Piece will succeed. Yes, this was a massive troll. It was all for me to give him for an hour, grilling him on why I think his One Piece live adaptation will fail. I was wrong. The One Piece live action was actually kind of great, not gonna lie. But again, not the point. It was a collab purely for the purpose of trolling. All right, it's a Gundam. He is a guy that made a lot of videos talking about how he doesn't like how strong women are depicted in Western media. So I brought him in to show him an edgy anime. I showed him Redo of Healer, where this guy literally fucking destroys a bunch of really sad women in really edgy, disgusting ways.
Why?
To show him that, well, see, anime's problem solved. It was literally for the purpose of trolling him. Here is a video of Rule 34 Jeopardy. It's basically a Pokemon Jeopardy game where I would ask them all questions, they would all give answers, and then I would take all of their answers and all of the words that they said in their answers, and they were the lyrics of this really cringe Furrymon Pokemon song that I would vocode together at the very end to have them sing the song.
Come on.
Prefer to feel like
Slaves.
I left my home
I
Trying to
pass
right through
the
all
law poly.
fast.
Yes, purposefully trolling purely for the goal of trolling. That was literally the point. They all thought they were doing a Pokemon Jeopardy game.
Poor
It turns out they
guy.
were not. They were singing the lyrics of this really cursed freaking Furrymon Pokemon
That is
song.
so cursed, dude.
I'm sorry I gave you many examples. I can give you another 20 examples, but this was literally my content at the time. My content at the time was bringing people into calls to essentially troll them. All right, for lack of better terms. Probably my favorite example of a super obvious troll
Anime
that I did at
is
some
Satan worship, declaring war on the One Piece community. Got swatted live while raiding huge YouTubers, not clickbait. Got swatted. Massive YouTuber sues me over a meme. Greatest fight scenes in Shmentai.
some point. So it was started with this
Oh my
video.
God.
It all began with this YouTuber Deji. Deji was exposed by this guy Kavos for basically subbotting and shit like that. And Deji's big response to all
Okay,
that
but
was,
like, can you blame Deji for subbotting? Like, he was stuck just under 10 mil subs for literal years. Like, he was literally just under 10 million subs. It was a meme at that point. The guy was stuck there. It was
well,
beautiful.
You see,
I
have a
can't
dumb
blame
high
him.
IQ. My IQ is 189. It's a 189 IQ. I wouldn't do something so stupid. If Kavos can confirm to me with 100% certainty that you in fact scored with an IQ 95 or above, half of 189 or higher, $1,000 of my money to any charity of your choice. And if you get below 95, I think it'll be just, you know, it's completely unlikely that that'll happen, let's be honest. So first I make a video
That would
making
be
fun of
hilarious.
him. Then I troll him on stream for it over here, and I actually got swatted while I was doing that stream. That was very stressful.
I can imagine.
Shout out to Billy.
Shout out to Billy! You heard it from Deji himself, boys. Bro, this is probably the top tier comedy cringe stream that I'd expect from a man with almost 10 million
What is
subscribers.
he doing?
Bro, this is the stream of a man with a dumb high IQ of 189. And then I
What was he doing this stream, though?
that I'd expect from a man with
Ask Deji. He's just answering questions. That's it.
almost 10 million subscribers. Bro, this is the stream of a man with a dumb high IQ of 189. And then I eventually got him
But yeah, bro
into-
was struggling to get that last bit to 10 mil. Cause he got there doing shit with KSI. KSI is a fucking absolute G of YouTube. Absolutely. One of the originals. The guy is an actual legend in YouTube communities and in YouTube in general. Like content creation, KSI is one of the best. He carried himself, all of his friends, and his brother all the way to the limelight. And most of his friends managed to actually like seriously make something out of it. It's a shame that Deji kind of just never really put in the effort to be good at content creation.
a collab with me right over here.
And this isn't like a matter of, oh, you know, he just streams, so it's like lazy. No, it's like I'm talking about he was never really good at, and he never really tried to be good at just knowing how to interact with fans in order to be entertaining to them. And it kind of ends up being very disappointing because he really had everything to be one of the biggest creators out there, and he just isn't because he's lazy.
Where I showed cursed anime clips to the smartest man alive, literally making
Oh
fun
my
of
God,
him
that's
the
hilarious.
entire time. I don't know if you could see with my avatar in the way. Right here, this video over here, making fun of him the entire time for his dumb high IQ and shit like that.
Yeah.
Making him voice dub anime clips.
Please let me help you train. I'll be happy if you thought of me as a punching bag. Please make me happy.
It truly is the year of the simp. What can I say?
That's so
the
sad.
best part of it all, Bammo, right here,
the fuck is
KSI
that?
reacted to me. I ended up taking the clips of him doing the incredibly cringe voice acting stuff. I put it on KSI's Reddit, and I got him to react it to humiliate this man for his
That's
dumb high IQ.
beautiful.
I don't know. It's all trolling. Most of my videos are not super confrontational in nature, to be fair, even though they are done with 100% trolling in mind. My confrontational things are with more controversial people, I guess, shine more on the podcast. I definitely did not give it easy to Boogie when he was on our podcast, confronted the hell out of that man, same with Star multiple times. I think that's pretty freaking relevant. Over the last
and I think
hour, you've
that's
told
all I
us
ever
you
wanted.
No,
sucked
I want to
so
see
many
the
times.
KSI
You've
reaction.
told
What the
us
fuck?
Yeah,
all
I
of your
suck. I'm
issues,
gonna keep
your-
saying that.
your
I'll never stop
financial
saying
problems.
that.
You've told us your obesity problems. You've
Yeah.
told
Wait,
us
I need to look,
literally every
this up.
way you firebombed your own life.
God, I really tried not to do that.
But you did
today, too,
anyway.
but I
and
did, yeah.
The point, you do it every time I see you on a podcast or a talk show, you end up going there. You got to get your headspace out of there. And I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of faith.
Let me
I
find
do.
this.
But with this in mind, I don't know how you can't say in good faith that yes, I definitely didn't want to troll Shadman when I originally asked about the collab, which by the way was done before I even knew about the Keemstar's daughter thing.
Okay, this is more important. Shut up for a second, Nuxxy.
Yo, it's your boy Kiss.
God,
That's
that's
how you
Holy.
how you start a video.
Yep.
Yeah.
anime mode.
Oh my God.
I did not expect you to join me on this lovely collaborative
Anime
event.
No, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Oh my God.
First lovely clip I have for you today is the greatest swimming scene.
Oh my.
So, how do you like my swimming?
Oh my God.
So, how do you like my swimming? Swimming.
Oh Jesus Christ. Poor KSI. Poor JJ.
What's going on? Hey, move it! Hey, y'all was
Oh, poor JJ.
I'll reapprove
Oh
it.
my
Yeah, I'll give it up, vote.
Oh, poor JJ, man. Poor JJ.
And even if you want to
Oh,
say
man.
that I am lying about everything you have seen thus far in this video, I lied about my relationship, I lied
Yeah.
about the freaking the collab idea,
Yes.
and I lied about the thumbnail, which I changed 3+ years ago.
Yes.
Holy Poopenhagen, I'm not a pedophile. It goes without saying. Also, I didn't lie about anything. Lyrics, actual
Okay, but
good
what if you
faith
did, though?
questions, hell yeah. And then you got this guy here, the worst faith question I've ever seen. So what were you gonna show Shadman? The youngest characters in hentai and it's all his own work? What's the angle there?
That's actually
how
a
on
good.
earth is that?
That's actually a good ass comeback. That is actually such a fucking baller response, Nux. What's the counter argument?
The takeaway here. The point is, I troll people in collabs. I was gonna troll them in collabs.
Okay, but what was the plan? What were you gonna troll him with? Like, what were you gonna troll him with?
I don't know. Maybe I was gonna show him shit to make him say the lyrics to some song calling himself a pedophile or something. I don't know what it was gonna be. It never ended up happening. Obviously, that's not what I was gonna do. Anyway, what's even wilder is when you look at this guy's past history and it's just me. It's just me.
Bro
Nux
just
talking
really
out
likes
of the
Nux.
house, smoking that pack. More me. Oh,
Bro
yes,
is just a
yes.
Nux hater.
Lots of Nuxxinor.
Bro is Dio, but for Nux.
Lucky for me, most of the
Queeman
people I ended up
is
collabing.
Queeman is Nux Taku's fucking ultra nemesis. He's gonna have kids. It's gonna be like 4 generations down the line, and Queeman is gonna still be alive somehow.
With and trolling over the days were people I did actually like. Shadman, not so much. I don't know why anyone would assume that I would do a Shadman video, possibly as some sort of promotion work and not to grill the guy.
Well,
all that
yeah.
said, I do want to apologize though for not researching the fucker thoroughly enough before asking him to collab.
I mean, you didn't. There was no expectation of that. Like, the guy was super popular at the time. Sure, he was controversial, but so is everybody else who's super popular. So it's like, you probably didn't. You had no reason to assume that, oh, he's been drawing real kids, unless you already knew about that.
I should have been better, and I will be better in the future. He
Oh,
drew porn
come on.
Of an actual child.
Yes, but you don't need to apologize for that. You have no idea. You have no. It's a super stupid thing to expect everyone to know about everything that happens on the internet. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. Not everyone is going to know everything that happens on the internet, especially people who are super fucking busy and don't have time to keep up with everything. It's like, what the fuck? This guy streams for like 6 hours a day. You think he's got time to fucking know about every little piece of drama? Like, he used to actually make long form, highly edited content. He wasn't always like a full-on streamer. He was a YouTuber first. So it's like, it's completely ridiculous to expect that this guy who spent hours upon hours editing shit and planning stuff, just to expect him to know everything that happens on the internet. Shadman at the time was not super well known. He wasn't, or at least Shadman was super well known, but the things that he did to, mark him as a piece of shit weren't super well known. So it's like this whole thing of like, oh, you didn't know, so you're evil. It's like, no, fuck off. That makes no sense. It's guilt by association, and that's literally the laziest, most self-defeating form of prosecution that you can have.
Monster like Shadman. Now, Keem has continued this witch hunt, saying Ricky Berwick is the only creator on the Shadman Epstein list that reached out and apologized. Chris Tyson still hasn't. And again, I don't want this to be any hate towards Keem in any way, okay? Again, he is the father of a girl who got drawn sexually by Shadman. If I was him, I don't know how I would react. I would also probably be out for blood, okay?
Yep.
Again, no hate to Keemstar. This man is justified in...
Definitely. Do I know any of these people? The only one I know about is Dolan Dark, Sive, and Sky Williams. Sky Williams, like, fell the fuck off when he turned out to be a piece of shit. I know Dolan Dark exists, but I never really watched any of his content, and Sive's YouTube. And Sive is, I almost said he was YouTube's editor. Like, he edits all the YouTube videos. No, he's PewDiePie's editor.
His fucking everybody up. However, in order for pure defense, after bullying a bunch of people off Twitter, it's been come to be known that Keemstar invited...
Did you make that for literally being friends with Shad when you invited her to a Happy Punch event last year, or is your interest in girls that tickle your fetishes overriding your logic?
Belle Delphine to parties All right,
Yep.
Happy Punch and Belle
That does not look like Keemstar.
Delphine. Let's go, Keeman and Belle Delphine. Belle Delphine at the parties. Let's go. Yesterday, Belle Delphine posted sexual pics of her role. Many asked if I called her out on it, and you know.
But wait, what?
Yesterday, Belle.
Today she responded to the hate mob by saying that's like saying video games cause violence IRL. Good response. Yeah. So you kind of agree with the whole thing that, you know, guilt by association is stupid. Okay.
Delphine posted sexual pics of her role. Many asked if I called her out on it, and you know, they were homies and stuff.
Yeah.
So Pimp Master Broda over here says, why does anyone on the list have to apologize? Did you make Belle Delphine apologize for literally being friends with Shad when you invited her to a Happy Punch event last year? Or is your interest in girls that tickle your fetishes overriding your logic? Now again, Belle Delphine was friends with Shadman. I was never friends with Shadman. We are not in the same boat, okay? I didn't even know the guy.
Was she friends with him, or did she just cosplay his character because he was popular at the time? Because there is a difference. Like, a lot of these bigger YouTubers will interact with each other and do content with each other, but they're not friends. They're co-workers. That's all it is. It's like you work together, you grow together, you do all this stuff because you understand that that's just how you grow your channel. That doesn't make you friends.
Literally did not know him, did not know the extent of his crimes, did not promote him, did not pay him, did not commission him, did not work with him. Even if you don't want to take my explanation for what my collab was going to be with Shadman in good faith, if you don't want to take that seriously and you still think I'm lying, I still did not collab with him and we were never friends. Also, I'm not lying, as I proved. I did lots of videos to fucking troll people.
Okay,
but anyway,
like, what if you are?
After bringing up to Keem why he didn't expect a Belle Delphine apology, Keem's response was, actually, I had no idea that Belle Delphine had any involvement with the cartoon CP artist because I don't follow her content. So yeah, she definitely owes me an apology. But I do remember you supporting the CP artist! Get on the cancel train, baby! You didn't know that Belle Delphine was remotely related to Shadman. In my opinion, is probably cap. But I am willing to take the benefit of the doubt. There's no evidence either way.
If you followed her content, you saw that cosplay, right? But at the same time, you might not know what the cosplay is from.
Until proven guilty, I am willing to take the benefit of the doubt and assume that you really did not know. Even though Belle Delphine cosplayed Shadman a lot, all the time. They were collabing together. They cross-promoted. Shadman had entire series of hentai comics with Belle Delphine as the main character of those hentai series, and every single one of them went mega viral over the years. I don't know how anyone could possibly not know. They were like both peak degenerates on the internet at that time, constantly cross-promoting. But again, you say you did not know, and I will take your word for it, I suppose. I don't know why you won't take my word for it when I say I didn't know that your daughter was sexualized by fucking Shadman back when I didn't even associate with him, but back when I got DM'd by the guy, because apparently you get DM'd by Dr. Disrespect and you become a pedophile. You get DM'd by Chris Tyson, and holy shit, you're probably a predator now. But to keep the guilt by association train going,
hilarious.
Here, LolCow Live is a podcast that is run by Keemstar and features a bunch of people like Boogie2988 and some people. They have had pedophiles, actual pedophiles on their podcast. They claim it is just to confront the guy, which my videos are trolling / confronting people, okay? He still did farm super chats and made lots of money off this pedophile, but I don't think that's a problem. They confronted the guy. Who freaking cares? But what I think is even worse is the fact that the co-host, Boogie2988 of this podcast, not only defrauded his audience by making believe he was broke, not only defrauded his audience by making believe he had cancer, but also scammed his audience with an actual pump and dump crypto scam.
I think that the whole argument that Keemstar made about how, oh, I want him to stay on the podcast so we can hold him accountable here in the podcast is a cheap attempt for him to not have to boot him and for him to not be seen as the bad guy in the situation. Keem is just trying to look like the good guy, and it's just really, really, really disingenuous. But yeah, I thought this was going to be a Mr. Beast
look
thing.
This up. This is not the point of the video right now. The point that I'm trying to make is Boogie not only is someone that did a crypto scam, but he promoted the crypto scam on your podcast to your audience. That is so much worse of a guilt by association than having been DM'd by a guy 3 years ago. But again, I do not want any hate to be sent to Keemstar. I do not know what Keemstar is going through. As I've mentioned here, I think I even said it,
I'm hesitant to be too hard on Keem for this. I can't imagine how I'd act if someone did what Chad did.
Isn't the way. To be honest, I'm hesitant to be too hard on Keem for this. I can't imagine how I'd act if someone did what Shad did to my kid. guys, do not send hate to Keemstar.
Okay, but what if we really, really want
even
to?
though Keem was on the cancel Nux train, I have zero hate in my heart towards this man over this specifically.
Over
Personally,
specifically this.
I can't even imagine the mindset he's in, especially over the Shad.
Yeah, you can't.
Anyway,
you can't, like,
this story continued to
imagine.
spiral out of control because I see this video on my feed. Nux
Oh, boy.
Taku kicked from some ordinary podcast. Absolutely not because of Shadman. And this is a whole train of worms. That's not a real expression, but goddamn, crazy situation
Train of
to
worms
learn about
is
getting fired from my podcast.
a lot more
from
than I
some
can.
Guy's video. To be clear, this is just false information. I was not fired from my podcast. And I'm going to have
Nice.
a clip of Mudahar playing in a minute that he sent me for this video to clarify. So I will play that in just a moment.
All right,
in
let's
this
see.
video,
Play the
Muda
clip.
is in a call with Chud Logic, streamer guy. I actually like a lot of his coverage of a lot of different stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
this kind of blindsided me a little bit. And here is the clip that everyone is
Recently on Chud Logic stream, briefly discussed next Taku's interaction with Shadman. This led to Mudahar stating some ordinary podcast is over, partially due to the recent situation.
is going wild over.
Podcast is done. Yeah, podcast is done now.
Yeah, so this is coming off the heels of the Shadman discussion. So it
Yeah.
really does look like, yeah, Shadman stuff happens, Nux caught in the crossfire, podcast done. Realistically, podcast being done is for completely other reasons, and it is a total coincidence that it's happening at the same time as the Shadman stuff. Again,
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Like, this stuff is coming out all at the same time. There's no way you can cancel something that big that brings in that much money at the drop of a hat like that. It doesn't work that way.
People to believe me because people are taking everything I say out
Oh,
of
yeah,
out of
people like
context
canceling
in the
Nuxxy.
ugliest
He is
possible
very,
ways.
very
So,
cancelable.
I
Just
will
look at him. Look at him. He's white. Obviously, he's cancelable.
Definitely let Muda doing the talking for me. Like he says over here, nothing to do with our relationship with Nux. Literally nothing to do with it, by the way. But anyway, let's see the rest of the clip because it is pretty damning. I'm not gonna lie. I think Muda definitely misspoke a little bit here.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the podcast is over. We are not filming the last episode. It's over.
Yep. Podcast.
Is that are you serious?
Yep.
Yeah, we're not doing the podcast anymore. It's done.
Why?
We're supposed to film on Tuesday. Well, there's a couple reasons for it. A lot of that was obviously some of the Shad stuff too, because we were kind of sitting there. We're like, me and Caleb, we were just like, this is, I don't know, it's weird. The other thing was weird.
There's so much I wish I could say. But I promised I would not say it yet. We gotta wait. Frick, I don't want to say anything and throw anyone else under any buses here with why the podcast is stopping the way it is. The point is, it's literally all for behind-the-scenes restructuring. It has nothing to do with me and my association with Shadman at all. Zero.
Right.
In fact, it's the least to do with me out of the three of us as to why this podcast is stopping right now. It's going
but
on
what is the
hiatus.
reason,
Hopefully,
then?
we will pick up something. We do have an epic project plan to potentially in the works, which again, not exactly
But
the
tell
place
us the
to
reason, though,
shout
Nuxxy.
out future
Tell us the
ventures
reason.
and stuff.
We have to know the reason.
Yeah, nothing
Otherwise,
to do
we're going
with
to think
me.
it's
and
you.
Muda even says, for context, your podcast is ending for a lot of behind-the-scenes restructuring at the moment. Nothing to do with me. It's purely business and behind-the-scenes shit. I will provide more details about this matter as it unfolds, because you obviously do not have the full story in this clip.
Obviously
And then
not.
he says, and nothing to do with our relationship to Nux. Which is, again, yeah, he clarified. It has nothing to do with anything. Of course, it didn't stop this video from still coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Nux Taku kicked from the Someone podcast, not because of Shadman, with the greatest selective hearing of all time, but it literally does have nothing to do with Shadman.
Hey everybody, Muda here, and I
Oh,
just
no, it's
wanted to
Muda.
make it as clear as possible.
Okay.
This podcast is not over because of Nux and his situation currently. Ladies and
Currently.
gentlemen, a couple days
Implying that it's a previous situation that involves Nux.
ago at this point, I was on a podcast, or not a podcast, but I was on a live stream with a creator known as Chud Logic.
Uh-huh.
And I wasn't exactly clear as to the ending of the podcast, which
Right,
really
right,
isn't
right.
ending. Let me be more clear with you. The timing of this is actually purely coincidental, like you see on all those disclaimers for any movie or television show you're watching or video game that you're playing.
Right.
No, in reality, what actually happened is
he
me
said
and
actually.
Caleb, we have our own kind of thing over here that, ultimately, behind the scenes, the podcast and rather the ownership of it and the structure of it is something that we're actually working on again. I actually went out and flew out about a week and a half ago with Caleb, and we filmed a lot of IRL stuff, and we kind of had our own sort of idea as to what the podcast should really be. If you haven't noticed, the weekly podcast, some of the episodes might have been a little bit phoned in. There was a lot of rambling. So me and Caleb and Nux have basically decided that it's better to restructure the podcast, basically have ownership ourselves, and to the point of actually making a set so we do more IRL stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So a lot of it is really set on, building a set. I'm flying down to Texas more often, hopefully down the road, to be filming IRL and doing the podcast with Caleb. More so like you would see with typical like IRL style podcasts where you can actually do the hosts on camera sitting next to each other, and one where we don't necessarily even need to have a guest like every week, try to figure out how to get Nux on the entire show, being the fact that he lives in an NFT land and an NFT world, so to get him onto the actual podcast is another challenge itself.
Yeah.
So it's really something where we're taking some time to stop the podcast, restructure, and possibly rebrand it and get the ownership directly under all three of us, which is something we didn't necessarily have with the Some Ordinary podcast.
Okay, but
So I hope
why
that
not
clears
film the
things up.
finale? That doesn't really explain why you didn't film the finale, though. Like, why didn't you do the finale before doing this restructuring thing? Like, that makes no sense. You were literally one episode away from ending, and then instead you just cancel it and do that. Like, I don't
Timing
know.
was purely coincidental.
It's weird.
And obviously,
It's a weird,
I would
it's a weird
obviously
decision.
love to work with Nux and Caleb again and get this podcast more structured in a way that we really want to push out, especially with the quality that we imagine and, just the style that we want to bring.
Makes
so
sense.
hopefully that clears things
Ish.
up. And, I'm going to leave it right back to my friend Nux.
But anyway, the point is, people going crazy in the quote retweets back on my original tweet when I said they not like us in regards to Chris Tyson, stuff like this, with 43,000 likes, basically calling me a pedophile for no reason. Nux, you are a lolicon defender, which is ironic because I was literally in drama like a year and a half ago because I do not like lolly porn. And then the anime community came for me because I do not like lolly porn.
Yeah, the people who like to say that, oh, lolly is just part of anime culture, it's like, I'm sorry. You're fucking weird. If you genuinely believe that part of your culture is liking little girls, maybe your culture shouldn't exist. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying like any like real life culture. I'm talking about anime. But I guess it extends to real life culture as well. If part of your culture involves sexualizing minors, then maybe that's a culture that just shouldn't exist. Just saying, not naming names, just saying that if that's a thing in your culture, then some cultures are better than others. Is all I'm saying.
Which is, it's kind of ironic. I literally got canceled from both sides of the aisle on this one. Imagine getting canceled for not liking lolly porn and then getting canceled. Not that I like lolly porn, but because they think I like lolly porn because I got DM'd by Shadman one time.
Yeah, that is funny.
It's pretty crazy. So anyway, a lot of people telling me to delete this
he
tweet.
Really is.
As you can see, this tweet has
A
1,900
defender,
likes and 2.8 million views, getting ratio to oblivion on Twitter. Everyone
Hell.
and their mother calling me a pedophile and shit. And I don't want to delete this tweet. I really would prefer it stay up here,
Yeah,
kind of as a testament.
Don't
to,
delete it. People
the
are just
fact that this
fucking
all went
stupid.
down. The fact that the internet literally turned my life over completely upside down, especially with the Shadman stuff, trying to find any semblance of criminal activity that I've done, and literally not found any. None. Zero. Like, oh my god. It's kind of crazy. Not trying to tempt fate or anything here, but I legitimately have never inappropriately messaged a minor in my life. So there's nothing to
It really is that easy.
find. Ava Chris Tyson did inappropriately message minors, which is why they found shit. Anyway, this has been my long-winded drama response video. The world went after me while I was on vacation, and it's been fun. It's been fun. I spoke to Caleb and Muda. We're all still homies. We're planning something hopefully big. It'll probably take a little while until that kicks off, but for now, I do appreciate all your support. For the most part, the comments on YouTube have been relatively pretty awesome, not gonna lie, and supportive and shit. A lot of people DMing me, asking me if I'm okay. God, I feel like I got 1% of the amount of hate my way right now than someone like Quite did during his false allegations, which were way worse, and I can't even imagine what
I
these
don't know
people
who that is, but
again,
yeah.
the point that I'm trying to
Overall,
make is,
like, the allegations towards Nux haven't been that bad, if you think about it. They were bad, for sure, but compared to what some other people have suffered, it ain't that bad. Nux is a tough little guy. He's dealt with this shit a lot. He's handled much, much worse situations. Right now, the only people trying to cancel him are people outside of his community. And let's be honest, the only people who can cancel you are your community. So long as your community likes you, then you're uncancelable. The Twitter weirdos can say whatever the hell they want, but so long as your viewers still follow you, and so long as you don't get banned, which, let's be honest, he has never done anything worthy of bannage. It's like the guy, you're never gonna get canceled unless you get banned everywhere and you turn your community against you. Which, the whole thing with Mr. Beast and Chris Tyson, they portrayed themselves as extremely pure and completely unmarred by the flaws of humanity, basically, right? And so when suddenly that is revealed to not be the truth, all of those people who followed him specifically because he was squeaky clean and just family friendly content, they will no longer like him. And since that's the majority of his audience, and it's also why he's such a beloved creator by YouTube, yeah, no, he's gonna actually suffer real consequences. This may be truly this may truly be the last thing that we hear about Mr. Beast before his career starts getting derailed, because that shit will kill your career. If you put forward this image of yourself as this super squeaky clean, incorruptible individual, and then it turns out that, hey, actually, this guy's a complete piece of shit who faked the giveaways, who scripted the events, who scripted the challenges, who wasted people's time. People would take time off of work to fly out and go there and suffer all of these added costs onto themselves to participate in the tournament. And then turns out they never even had a chance to begin with to win, because it was always going to be some big YouTuber or somebody in the Mr. Beast family or whatever the hell he calls his crew. That is actually something that will end his career, even if he doesn't get banned. Like, he will not be able to do these challenges anymore because people will no longer watch them. Now, is there a chance that he'll be able to weather this storm and people will just continue to ignorantly follow him? Absolutely, there is. Do I think that's likely? Not really. But hey, we'll have to see. So let's let Nux finish saying his goodbye to us.
I literally didn't do anything in this situation. Yeah, bye.
What he said. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one, and cheers!